everyone, hope you all well. As you can see, we are in my back garden. That's how we're gonna start this episode, as there are a few things I need to do here. So let me show you what it's gonna be. So you see, this is the small patch on which I have quite a lot. I have some alpine strawberries, some bulbs, even lettuces here. And we have the raspberry canes, and this is raspberry that I planted from the new shoots last winter, and I think it's autumn one. As you can see, this cane, for example, had fruits on it, and it should be cut down to the ground this winter, and then the new cane will show up on which the fruits will be growing in the following autumn. Anyway, I don't think it's a good spot for raspberry overall. You see, it's so near to my lawn that, you know, it's just the new shoots will be sprouting every year, and I thought I could probably use this space much better to plant some beans or anything else. But I don't want to get rid of this plant. So what I'm gonna do is some kind of experiment. I will try to dig it out from the soil and transplant piece over the roots into separate pots and see how many of these will give me new plant in the spring. And I still don't know what I'm gonna do with the plants, because I want to buy some specific variety for my allotment, but maybe I will use this one at the end. We will see. And just want to show you how the root looks like, because it's new for me as well. So you see that the new shoots are sprouting here and there, like here for example. Well, here we have two going from the main plant, and this is a nice example. You see how it's going through in all directions, and this one is quite developed, and and here I have one that already start creating the cane. So what I'm going to do now is use the bits of root with the young shoots, and then try to find some small pots and put them in there. And as I said, I don't really know what to do with these yet, but I think it's gonna be a nice experiment just to have these. Okay, so what else I want to try is propagate raspberries through canes, or rather through cuttings. So as you can see, some of these buds, actually all of these buds have, all of these canes have green buds. And you know what I thought is, I'm just gonna give it a try and use also my rooting hormone to try and propagate some of these. And as again, this will be just pure experiment, so we're gonna try a few and just see how it will work. So yeah, the plan is to cut, make sure that I have at least few buds in here, and cut just beneath the bud, because as far as I know, this is when most of the hormone is in the bud. So, and then we're gonna dip this part in the rooting hormone. Let me show you how I go about it. So I scraped off some of this I think it's called cambium. Is it called cambium? Well, anyway, it just make sure that the cane is wounded. And also, you see, it was cut near the place when the bat was. And I don't think that, you know, wounding is necessary, but I'm doing this for the first time, so I thought, you know, let's just give it the best chance. Now, what I'm doing next is using this bamboo cane to make a hole first. And this is, again, I'm not sure if it's necessary, but I'm doing this just to make sure that the hormone that I'm gonna use will not be, removed by the soil while I'm inserting this in. But I don't think it's necessary, guys. So we're gonna do half this way and then half the other. Okay, now I'm gonna put it into the hormone gel and get it into the pot as deep as I can. Okay, so here is the spot in my garden where I want to put them, and I don't want to keep them inside because I don't know too much about it, but I think that they should go through some kind of like season cycle. I mean, like, it should be cold and then it become a bit warmer when we come into the spring. And you know, in general, I don't think it's a good idea to put such a small pots outside during the winter, because, you know, the moist soil inside just can easily freeze and kill your plant. But with such a mild winter that we have, you know, I was going in my shirt for the last week to work, and it's like 5 days to Christmas, so, you know, I'm not too worried about it. Also, you see, this place is quite nicely sheltered. You see, these are the green manures that I saw in August. It's a mustard, and on the allotment it's already dying off, but here it's still growing. So I'm hoping they're gonna be nice and cozy here throughout the winter. So see the compost pile. I neglected this compost pile, unfortunately, because I have to put a lot of things for worms on the allotment, and they were eating this quite fast. However, now they slow down, maybe it's due to temperature. So you know, I start to build this pile a bit more. So I already have some cardboards from various sources, and I have some coffee grounds, and as you can see, I already throw some kitchen waste there as well. You can see there is some bread and banana peels and everything, and I have some potato growing. That's what you get when you throw potatoes into compost. Anyway, I need to top it up with some cardboards, then mix it nicely, and let's hope it's gonna be ready by May, because this will be used for my tomato, peppers and melons. So, you know, there's no rush. All this stuff will go into the ground once there is no threat of the frost. So, you know, hope it will be ready by then. I've added some cardboards already. As you can see, these are various in size. Now what I'm gonna do is add some water on top, and then I'm gonna add coffee grounds for nitrogen and some finely ground eggshells. And you don't have to grind them that much, you can use them in this form. All is gonna happen is that, you know, using occasion that we are in my back garden, you will end up with some eggshells at the top of your soil. And, you know, if you try to dig a bit deeper, there is not many pieces left. So, you know, it doesn't look that bad. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't make any difference at all. And they will decompose slowly, releasing calcium to your soil. So don't worry too much about it, you know. But these are very good additions. You have nitrogen and calcium, and plus all the other kitchen scraps that you have, like banana peels. You see, I have some banana peels there, which are full of potash. All this stuff is good for plants, and I don't think I need to add any rock dust here or any other amendments, to be honest. That should be more than enough. So anyway, let me add this here, and then we're gonna go to the plot. So back on the allotment, it's next day, Sunday, and let's have a look how the green manure is doing. Okay, so as you can see, we had some cold weather, and that's when the mustard, just died off in some parts. And once that happened, we have a lot of grass growing in between. There is some clover as well, as you can see. But overall, I think it might be a good moment to actually to cover it with some wheat fabric. But before I'm gonna do it, I want to go with my with the wheel hoe and just cut the roots just underneath the soil. Let me show you how tarp works as a slug magnet. You see all these slugs? I mean, this tarp provides perfect habitat for them. It's always moisture, it's nearby to their food source. So as far as I read so far, you have to remove these tarps at least 1 month before you're going to start planting, and then keep the soil clean. And that might be a good reason for it, actually. From the other hand, we might use it as a trap for slugs. If I'm gonna leave one of these tarps on the bed, then I can remove them by hand every weekend, during the day. So we will try to take 2 approaches, I guess. Right, so see, rather than cutting, in most cases I just rip these plants from the soil, and that might be due to many things, I guess. I mean, probably the hoe that I'm using is not sharp enough. That's one thing. The other thing is that the soil is really fluffy, and it's easy to take these plants out. But I hope that was gonna be enough. So here we go. The mustard. Now what I'm gonna do, leave them over here, cover it with tarp. Obviously it's not a very good idea to do it during the summer when the other crops are growing around, but now it shouldn't be that bigger of a deal, even if there will be a lot of slugs in here. The main idea is just to kill all these weeds, grasses, and make sure that I have pretty much weed-free soil in here. Although definitely some perennial weeds will still grow. Like, for example, look at this. So this cover is here for such a long time, for a few months at least, and we still have some weeds going for it. But these are so weak that, and as you can see, most of the weeds are not growing, even though this tarp is giving them perfect condition for it, because it's so warm underneath and the moisture is there as well. So I think the thing's looking good for spring. Anyway, let's cover this place, and we're gonna move to, I'm gonna start doing something else. As you remember, I've made this big raised bed for strawberries, and it was filled up with the horse manure after it was done, and as you can see, it's doing quite well. There is also cardboard at the bottom of it, so not many weeds are sprouting. What happens basically is that, well, we even have some mushrooms here. And what I think happens is that we have some weeds in the horse manure, maybe some weed seeds, and also there will be some seeds landing on the top of it. So what I want to do now is just cover it with something, and luckily we had to replace some old furniture at home, and I have some of those huge boxes which were used as a package for the new one. So I'm gonna cover it with these and try to put some wooden studs on the top, just to make sure that the wind will not blow it off. And at some point, once the season starts, I will use this in my compost pile. Okay, so there we go. What do you think about it? I think it should be okay. I think it should hold all the weeds throughout the winter. The only problem might be that the winds in January might blow it off, but then again I can always fix it when I come here every weekend. Nice, yeah, that's good. Okay, so I covered the whole area under the greenhouse, and I think it should hold. Now you might be wondering, why am I doing it? Because probably I'm supposed to put the greenhouse instead, but you know what I thought is, because I'm not going to grow anything until like February or March, I think it's a better idea to hold on with the greenhouse, because it's not much point to put it out right now and make it available for all the elements, winds throughout the winter to break it. You know, if it's supposed to be out, it should be used as well. And next winter I'm going to use it for a lot of winter crops. So yeah, so the idea is, let's leave it there until February, and you know, that's where I'm going to put out the greenhouse. Hello guys, so that's it for that episode, and you know, I want to wish you great Christmas, great Happy New Year, because this is the last episode this year, and you know, I hope you got into the Christmas mood already. As you can see, I did. And you know what's good about Christmas is that's kind of like a half point between the, I think it's like when the winter starts, then when the actually spring begins. So we still have two months to go, and then we can start sowing the seeds. So all good, all good. Well, anyway, that's it. I see you in 2016, guys, and have a great Christmas and Happy New Year. Bye.